I have spent one too many evenings planning out my next day, feeling very accomplished about being able to plan the next day, and then feeling very hopeful about my next productive day. Only to find myself spending the whole day or morning playing video games, or watching YouTube, or being a potato, or all of the above. And so, welcome to the Clarity Project, my personal journey to understanding myself and the world around me. So today, that's exactly what I want to talk about is productivity, ADHD, and sort of my journey with it and what I've come to understand and what I've learned to realize. And hopefully you guys can relate and I can provide any value that for you. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or paralyzed by the simplest of tasks, it's okay. You're not alone. This affects many people with ADHD. So to start it off, I started about before I was doing this, I was in Dallas doing real estate, and I learned a lot about myself during these past couple of years of doing real estate. I learned a lot about how I function in a working environment, how I function when I'm on my own. So so I want to go into that a little bit because there are a lot of things to uncover here, and I hope that from my journey you guys can find some sort of a clarity in your own lives regarding productivity. So, real estate has so many behind the scenes that no one really knows about because everyone really only sees the end result, which is the sale of the house and the commission, the big paycheck, and everyone kind of thinks that that's really what real estate is. It's not. There are a lot of moving parts behind the scenes, such as keeping up with social media, keeping up with prospecting and engaging clients, events, making sure you are top of mind in front of everyone as much as you can, keeping up with research on the market area. There's a whole lot of things to do. For an ADHD brain, it sounds like a paradise. There's a lot of things to kind of keep track of, and it's something new every day. However, for me, the tougher parts when it came to being productive were the prospecting, were the social media, and just keeping up with everything. I mean, it's so much, and it overwhelmed me at times. I will be very honest. And so, some of the patterns that I noticed in real estate was I would have I like to think of it as an accordion or a wave phases. I call them phases of productivity and non-productivity. And so the most obvious example I can give would be social media. I mean, there would be times when I'd be on top, I'd be on top of it. I'd have great content, and I'd be very consistent with what I was putting out and how often I was putting out. And I'd schedule things in advance, and making sure that I was up to date with like holidays and events and other things happening around the world. Also, when it came to prospecting and hosting events for people and hosting open houses, I had my phases of just being on top of it all, making sure that I got people's contacts, making sure that I was up to date with them, and keeping them informed on the market. And so during these moments, it really felt like I was on top of the world. Like I had everything in the palm of my hand, and everything was within control. And it just made me feel invincible and very very confident, and that really showed in what I was outputting. I mean, when I was prospecting, I was very confident, very very cheery, very happy. Social media, I mean, the content was amazing. I really enjoyed putting out the good content that I did and being consistent with it. And then also when it came to events, I mean, I really enjoyed hosting these open houses and hosting these events and creating them, being a good resource for people. And it really showed during these productive phases. Another thing I want to kind of address as well during these phases is the emotional ties within it all. I mean, yes, I'm doing great, I'm doing fantastic, but at the same time, what is the underlying thought process behind keeping up with everything and behind this productive phase versus the opposite, right? So when I'm being productive, I feel like I'm speaking for majority here. Is when you're being productive, or you feel like you're getting things done and checking off those to-do lists. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel confident. But deep down, I feel like we're all feeling the same thing, where we have a sense of wanting to do more. We know we can do more. We know what we're capable of, and we know our potential, especially during these phases. It really feels like we are fully maximizing our potential during these moments. And it can greatly boost our own sense of self-worth, because we as people with ADHD, we struggle with our sense of self-worth because we cycle back and forth between ups and downs in so many aspects of our lives. These ups and downs kind of oscillate between confirming our full potential and then just beating down on us, and having us thinking that we're not good enough, when in reality we are good enough to be able to maximize that full potential. It's just a matter of how to work through it and how to navigate our symptoms and finding coping mechanisms to work through them. It also affected my personal life. I mean, that's just business, but then there's also personal life, because I mean, when I'm feeling good, I want to go out and have a good time with friends. It shows. It shows when I'm out with friends, because I'm being more engaging, more active, and it's just a great time. Everything's just better during these phases, during these productive phases. However, on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have the non-productive phases. So, what did I struggle with during these times? There's a lot. So, for social media, I said this is the most obvious example that I have, and that's because it shows in timelines and it's out there. So, for social media, I had phases where there was just there's nothing happening, no ideas were being made, and nothing was being put out. I mean, I'd go weeks. I think my longest time without posting was about 3 months. It's very apparent when you can have weeks or months of consistency and then weeks and months of the exact opposite. The emotional turmoil it placed on me was pretty immense. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of self-talk and emotional whiplash during these moments. It's like, well, I know what I need to get done. I know this needs to be done, but why can't I get myself to do it? It starts bringing upon negative self-talk of, why aren't I consistent? I know I need to be more disciplined. Why am I like this? That's a really big one. And then, so when it comes to social media, I mean, one of the biggest self-talks was, what if others are thinking what I'm thinking about myself? Because when it came to social media, when I'm being highly consistent with it and highly effective with it, it's like, I'm getting all this good engagement and all this good runway from it. And then when I stop, no one, I mean, I don't get anything really, other than my broker, who's kind of keeping an eye on me, but I don't really get anything else. And from then, I started thinking to myself, well, I haven't posted in a while. What if everyone's thinking, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, or oh, he doesn't have anything to give us, or he doesn't have any information to share? And once I start posting, then it makes me feel like those insecurities are going to come right at me from everyone who does notice these things and is thinking these things. It's a huge emotional whiplash and a huge just self-talk spiral that kind of circulates within my own brain. And I'm sure a lot of you have felt this way too in your own lives. So I just want you guys to know that, you're not alone in this struggle. It's something that I deal with as well, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there also deal with. And when it came to prospecting, I mean, this one wasn't as apparent. It wasn't as obvious because it wasn't as out there as the social media was. But I mean, I'd go door knocking, I'd do open house events, and I'd have good weeks, I'd have good months, I'd have good events. But then there'd be times when I just don't host the events or I don't go door knocking. And again, it's this self talk of I haven't gone out to door knock. These people are going to think that there's nothing going on or that I'm not interested in giving them the information about the market. And when I come back to it, they're gonna think all these negative things that I'm thinking about myself, and it's gonna explode on me. And these are just the thoughts that I've thought I've experienced. I They may not be as radical as mine for you guys, but I just wanted to be real for a minute. These are some of the patterns that I've noticed where I'd oscillate between productivity and non-productivity. And during these moments, during these non-productive moments, it feels like I'm being such a huge failure. And deep down, I know I'm not, but there's something up here that's just something up here in my brain that's just telling me that like, oh, you're not good enough. Do better. Only then will you be happy. But I don't think that's the case. And so during these times, I feel like I conform to a or I resort to a conformity mindset where I say if I'm just not going to do anything, then I'm okay with it and I'm okay with the mediocrity, which in reality I know I'm not. And so I'm sure a lot of you out there feel the same way too. And again, these back to how this whole business productivity circled back into my social life. I mean, I really enjoyed rock climbing. I did it with friends. And during these non-productive phases, sometimes when they get really bad, I would skip out on joining my friends for rock climbing or going and hanging out with them. I'd also kind of neglect my own self care. I mean, some of the things I want to as also bring up are the so many moving parts. I mentioned that there's so many moving parts, and for me, it became too overwhelming, along with all of the built up guilt and shame from the previous couple of years of these oscillations. And so with so many moving parts, it feels like I've constantly been busy but not making any meaningful progress. And what I mean by this is, especially in my case with real estate, I would do the work when it comes to prospecting. I would go out, meet people, talk with them, have good engagement with them. But it felt like there wasn't much being done in terms of progress as far as sales go. For me, it didn't feel like it was enough. Maybe I needed to reach out to more people. Maybe I needed to expand my horizons. Also, there was a lot of admin work, and so jumping between tasks, dealing with social media, dealing with prospecting, dealing with research, dealing with events, that it was very easy for me to jump between, oh, this is important. Oh, but this is also important. This is also important. They all kind of go hand in hand with each other. And the main thing was prospecting, and I know that I needed to get it done. I did it from time to time, but it was the hardest thing for me to get started with. It all just felt overwhelming because my brain can't organize the steps or the process in any clear order or pattern. Let me backtrack a little bit. Sometimes when I'd be in really productive bouts, really productive phases, I mean, it would be insanely productive and there'd be nothing else on my mind. I mean, it was an all or nothing mentality. It was just go, 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 get things done, get things done. And that leads to burnout, and that leads to me for 2 days straight just laying on the couch and not doing anything. I mean, those days felt good, but it also reminds me that I need to be more aware of where I'm at in the process. And so being more aware of where I am at, where my headspace is and where my mentality is, if it's an all or nothing mentality, then go, 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 then I can take a step back and remind myself that rest is important. About 3 weeks ago, for 2 weeks straight, it was nothing but job applications, figuring out the move, figuring out how I'm going to tell people that I've moved, and all of the anxiety behind that. I'd just be doing things in order to figure out the next step and work through that. And then on one Saturday, I had already planned to do things that Saturday, and my brain and body was just like, nope. So it just completely shut down. Sure, I felt bad, but at the same time, I do realize that it's my body and my mind telling me, like, hey, you need to stop. Let's take a break. And the next day, on that Sunday, same thing happened. I knew I wanted to do things, but my mind and body were like, hey, no, stop. Stop what you're doing. I've now come to realize that taking the time to take a step back and see where you're at in the process, where your mentality is, helps and goes a long way in reducing these oscillations of productivity and non-productivity. Another thing I do tend to do is when things start to become overwhelming or I'm uncertain about next steps, I will talk to friends and family, loved ones that I trust very much, in order to get as many perspectives as I can. And from there, choose, kind of go with which one I feel most comfortable with, which one I feel is the most beneficial to me. And so just talking with people you trust definitely goes a long way, in my opinion, especially when you start feeling these oscillations and when you start not knowing what's going on, what to do next. Having someone help you with the next steps or understand the next steps can go a long way. So this is just a reminder that rest is important. So please make sure that you guys do take the time to take care of yourselves and not let yourselves be in a constant go mentality, because our ADHD brains do need moments of rest. And here are some more methods that I've used that help me. So I've mentioned spotting these oscillations and where you're at in the process. And when you feel like you've done a lot already, make sure you're prepping for that crash. You will get overwhelmed and your body and brain will want to shut down. And so make sure you kind of prep before it completely shuts down, and just have an easy day, or have just a lazy day, potato day, I like to call them, and just fill it up with either nothing or just a light schedule for the day after a big day. And then another thing is have some sort of protocol in place for your recovery, right? Like you have pre-made meals, journaling, and you have days with no decisions. And I call those potato days, where I'm just sitting on the couch and watching something. And I think the most important one here is the self-talk, where you engage with non-judgmental self-talk. I do believe that sort of ties into mindfulness. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's very easy for our brains to sort of beat down on us when we're not feeling as productive as we could be, or as we know that we could be. And it's so easy for us to fall in these negative spirals of self-talk. And so it's very important to remind ourselves that, these are phases that will happen and it'll pass, and there are other ways to get through these much faster than just letting it simmer over a longer period of time. Just this past week, I had another go week where I was back and forth between a lot of things. I mean, interviews, applications, emails, talking with people. And I realized on that Friday that I've done a lot. And it was pretty interesting. In the evening, I was scheduling my next day, and I realized, okay, I've done a lot this week. Let's take a step back. Let's schedule my weekend to be light and not as full of things. So I still did some things on that Saturday, but that Sunday was just a complete rest day. I mean, I told my friends, like, hey, today's going to be a rest day. Let's go on a hike. I don't want to do really anything else. It's Tuesday right now, and it feels amazing. It feels like I'm recharged. I I went to a networking event yesterday, and I felt super great going to that and didn't feel burned out at all, and met a lot of great people. And so it's very important that you take the time to recognize when you need to rest and utilize those moments. I know I don't have many stories, but I'm still kind of working through it. I also asked some of my friends about their experiences with productivity, whether or not they have ADHD. I feel like this could benefit anyone. And so some of the struggles that they've said they've had is switching between multiple projects, getting distracted, and some of the things that help them are changing their workplace, changing the scenery, or having something to drink and listening to ambiance music. Another friend says, which this is important, never give up. Even if you waste a day, tomorrow is another day. You can accomplish a lot in that day. And then getting derailed. So what this friend does is when they get distracted, when they realize they're getting distracted or derailed, they flip a 30-minute hourglass. For that 30 minutes, they allow themselves to be distracted, and then they go back to what they were doing when that timer is up. They have also mentioned that personal issues can get in the way of productivity, and so having a therapist helps them to manage their own stuff so that they can get the external stuff done. And then having a clean space is a huge one. I personally cannot function if my work area is messy and cluttered. And whenever I do take the time to clean it, it feels so much better, and I feel like I can be so much more productive because messy area, messy brain. It all works together. Rest is very important. Make sure that you are keeping up with where you are at in the process, how you are feeling, and taking steps to minimize a burnout. And so if there's something I would like you guys to take out of all of this, it's make sure you take the time to take a step back, look at where you are in the process, analyze it, and take the steps necessary to maintain your health, like maintain health within your body and brain, making sure you rest when you need to, and making sure you take the steps to recover from those rests or recover from big moments and push forward and just never give up. And so before you guys go, I want you to take a second to check in with yourself. Are you in a productive phase, or are you in a non-productive phase? Are you somewhere in between? And whatever phase you're in, just know that you're not broken. You're just cycling through a pattern your brain knows well. And I want you to take the time to think about the next steps. If you're in a productive phase, think about how you can rest, what you can do to rest to recover from this productivity. If you guys feel like sharing, I'd love to hear where you're at. You can DM me a sentence or two, no pressure. We're all building this project together. All right, guys, I will see you next time.